Thank you for tuning into ACTAI Global's Fireside Chat with Vandana Hart. I'm Amanda Terry, your host for this session and creator of this virtual Fireside Chat series. I want to say good morning, afternoon, and evening from wherever you are around the world, and thank you for joining us. Vandana Hart is a creator and host of the Netflix series We Speak Dance, a global UN ambassador and judge of So You Think You Can Dance in Africa. And she's currently building an app and movement to inspire global connection and unity through music and dance. The We Speak Dance method, which was created by her, takes you on a journey across over 100 languages of dance, from South African Mandela dance for liberation, Brazilian carnival samba, New York street styles to Balinese warrior dances. Her method comes from her 7 years at Alvin Ailey as a trained dancer, and also designing programs at the UN for women's rights, in addition to traveling around the world and immersing herself in over 100 countries of dance and music cultures. And with that, let's roll the video for the preview of We Speak Dance.
Dance comes from the soul. It's a spiritual thing.
You're feeling your emotions. You're connecting with your community. All of these things are what keep us human.
I think this is what dance does. I'm going to keep dancing.
Nice, thank you. We're going to give people just a couple more minutes to join before we get going. So for those of you who don't know who ACTAI Global is, we're a nonprofit and a community of athletes, conservationists, technologists, artists, of which Vandana is one, and innovators that bring our collective knowledge, energy, and social capital together in active gatherings, which of course right now we're on hold, so we brought these online. Our community supports projects benefiting environmental conservation and economic empowerment via entrepreneurship. Together, we've brought together a marine conservation area with Mission Blue. We've also supported conservation organizations such as Ocean Elders, Virgin Unite, the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, and Lonely Whale. We've also catalyzed gatherings around the world, including Australia-based West Tech Fest, the Necker Blockchain Summit, and the Extreme Tech Challenge. ACTAI was also a partner in the formative stages of the 2030 Vision Project to bring technology and multi-stakeholder partnerships to solve for the 17 United Nations Sustainability Goals. And with that, let's get started. I think we've given people enough time to get settled in. Just some really quick housekeeping notes. First of all, this is being recorded, and we do want you to ask questions. If you have questions and you're in the Zoom app, you can just hit the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and I will read those out to Vandana, or she'll see them herself and read them out directly. If you want to add your name, country, company, we'll read those as well. If you're having any issues logging into Zoom, you can join us via the local phone number that was in the email that you got from your registration. And you can always email us questions at fireside@actai.global. Also, we'd love this to be kind of a more interactive session. So if you're interested in being on camera and dancing alongside Vandana, if you can just raise your hand or shoot us a chat message, and we're going to feature hopefully a couple people to dance alongside with her to kind of make it more fun. So let us know if you want to do that. And with that, Vandana, how are you and where are you?
Oh, thank you so much for hosting me. I am very well. I am currently in Tulum, Mexico. I was just passing by and speaking at a festival and decided to stay on for this historic moment. I'm staying at Papaya Playa, and they're doing incredible work here for the local community, food security program. It's just been really cool to help support that and build and dance for Mexico.
I love Tulum. It's such an amazing city or place, full of kind of sustainable culture. So that's really awesome. Tell us a little bit about your background. It's, you know, you work for the UN, you've danced, you're a television show producer, and now creating a company. Maybe just, you know, starting back from the beginning, you know, what inspired you to become a dancer?
Definitely. Thank you so much. Well, yeah, I do a lot of things. I bridge many worlds. I am the creator of We Speak Dance, which is on Netflix. Season 1 is there. But really, starting from the beginning, my origin story, my parents were actually part of the Cold War in a nuclear way. My father's American, my mother's Russian. And my father was sneaking into Russia campaigning to free political and religious prisoners. And my mother was helping him. They were meeting secretly in cafes and really doing this human rights work. So the first year of my life, my parents couldn't be together. And my dad was blacklisted from Russia, and he campaigned to get us on a nuclear disarmament agreement between Gorbachev and Reagan. And we were one of the first families to be reunited during the Cold War. So I only met my dad on my first birthday in Sweden as a refugee. And this kind of moment of like unity and celebration and families coming together is very much part of my story and has laid out kind of the destiny for my life. So everything that I'm doing has to have a purpose, has to have celebration and unity involved. So yes, I've been a lifelong dancer and trained at Alvin Ailey and danced across many stages and underground dance parties. But really the thing that excites me most is connected to that feeling of using dance as a way to unite people, to celebrate, to bring joy, and also to kind of connect with the issues and the topics of the world that are the most important to young people. How can we use our body, our dance, and our movement as a way to really highlight the things that are most important?
I love that. And I feel like it's an especially timely message now, at least in the US, to be thinking about global unity and peace through dance and music. So just one other question on you know, the Alvin Ailey, if you could tell us a little bit about your experiences dancing with them. I'm sure there's people that are interested in that.
Definitely. Well, I auditioned for them. There was like thousands of people that auditioned for this program. And when my best friend and I both got in, we were so thrilled. And you know, all dancers around the world really look up to this dance company. So to be able to play school and live in New York as a 17, 18-year-old, you know, is a dream. So we're dancing in ballet, modern dance, contemporary African hip hop, all day training. And then by night, we dance battle each other and go to the different underground parties and meet the people who actually invented a lot of the dance cultures around hip hop and house and Vogue. So like classical ballerina, contemporary dancer by day, hip hop, dance battling by night was kind of my first years in New York. And I guess I could maybe show a few moves, or maybe I can invite the audience to move a little bit. So one of the most famous dance warm-ups from Alvin Ailey is this pyramid pose. Like you're holding the pyramid on your shoulders and you just put your arms up like this. Everyone's welcome to join or just watch and enjoy. And you twist the pyramid. And you're holding really kind of like the symbolism of the whole world. And then you walk forward with it if you want to get fancy, and back. And one more like amazing Alvin Ailey move for this warm-up that we do, we put our hands like this, and I'm gonna step on my bed right now so you can see me better. You walk forward and you move your hips, and the left hand shakes, and you're creating the change. It's kind of this move for liberation. And then the right hand flicks, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The left hand shakes, and the right hand flicks at the same time. So it's a little bit like this. And this is really like the grace. What I see this as the symbol of is the grace of the right hand, and the left is that you're making change. So this is kind of the radical revolution, and then the beauty that you can still have at the same time.
Wow, I love it. That was fun. I feel kind of loosened up, and that's awesome. Kind of along those lines, when you talk about kind of, you know, holding the weight of the world, I mean, you went from a dancer to working with the UN on women's rights. I mean, how did that transition happen? And can you tell us a little bit about your experience? I know you're still a UN Global Ambassador, so maybe you can tell how you got there and then what you're doing today with the UN.
Definitely. So it's funny, like with the pressure of my parents being these nuclear historic revolutionaries, my biggest fear in life was not being as cool as them. You know, they have a lot of really good stories. So I feared that dance wasn't enough to change the world. So I decided to not pursue dance just as my sole career and started studying global politics and worked at the United Nations for 7 years. And I was the co-founder of the Safe Cities Global Initiative that works to end violence against women and girls in public space. And this was in 2010. And we launched in India and Rwanda, Papua New Guinea, Ecuador. And in all these places, they're going through different things. Egypt was going through revolution, and in Papua New Guinea, we would redesign the marketplaces based on what the local women and the grassroots groups wanted to see for change. So it was a really beautiful global program that started in 5 countries and expanded to 30 countries. And it was one of the only impact evaluated initiatives within the UN. Bill, I know you're a data expert, so this was a very rigorously evaluated program, which allowed us to really showcase that our interventions led to these results. Sometimes we have these beautiful campaigns that are really shiny, but they don't actually lead to change. And I think for all of us listening, in all of the social impact work that we're doing, it's really important to have really strong ways to measure the change and create more data and connect to the SDGs and how do we program for change. So the Safe Cities Global Initiative is the flagship initiative of UN Women still today, and is a really great example of how you can create a global movement and then adapt it to each country and have a really beautiful, flexible methodology that work on public transport and women's rights and safety in India, marketplaces in Papua New Guinea so the women won't be harassed or raped when they sell their goods and services, to changing policies in Ecuador at even the city and national level just from a research study. And then some of the program interventions have mobilized hundreds, thousands of people in these different communities to also become leaders for change. So working all the way from national, city, local level, grassroots level, private sector. One of the main learnings I had is that it's not about what I get to gain from this project. It's about garnering all the most inspiring people in a community, in a country, and around the world, and ask them, what can we each bring to this project? What can we each bring to this movement, this vision? And doing that in all these different contexts has made me learn a lot about that everyone wants to be part of the solution, regardless of how limited we are in our understanding of the problem, if it's women's rights, racial justice, the environment. Everyone wants to play a part. So, and there's so many different ways to do that. And with these UN programs, it was so beautiful to garner like thousands of people to really join this movement. And yeah, and I think it was kind of very legendary in terms of being before its time. Because most of the work on women's empowerment has been domestic violence, which is now a much more prevalent issue, is like increased manyfold with the COVID crisis. However, at that time, looking at violence against women in public space, women's right to the city. And this is kind of the beautiful connection with dance for me, and the right to the city for all people is that our cities are not succeeding if all people don't feel safe and fully expressed in public space, because that affects their economic participation, their political participation, their creative cultural participation. So being a woman and walking the streets of New York, where I lived for 7 years, I didn't feel safe. And this is still an issue that we need to do that, and that, you know, right now everyone's protesting around the world for all groups to be safe in public space, Black people especially, when it comes to police brutality and women's rights in terms of sexual harassment and violence. Like, everyone really needs to honor public space as a sacred space where we all get to share and dance together. And this is kind of mobility and the movement of my body, freedom of my body. This is kind of a beautiful connection between the work on human rights, women's rights, global unity, and the body, and letting the body be free. And that's kind of what our whole world is standing still for right now.
Cool. Is there a dance you could show us either about like women reclaiming their safety and feeling a safe place, or rising up, or you mentioned kind of living in New York and New York street dancing. So either one would be kind of fun to do that. And we're going to try to just have a couple people join you here as well.
Do something for women's empowerment right now. So let's put the right hand on the shoulder, roll it back. Left shoulder back, and then pop the chest open, and then rise the hands up. And I'll stand on my platform, on my stage. So right shoulder back, left shoulder back, open, and then rising your power and energy up. This is a move for women's empowerment, and I'd love for all of the men around the world to do this. Let's go right, left, pop the heart open, and push your power forward. And then I think we should also do a move for racial justice because of the timing. I think it's so important to work across different social, political issues simultaneously. Sometimes in the US, we're very focused, one track, one mind, but the intersection between race, class, gender, the environment, we all have to, uplift all of these topics. So let's do one. So let's rise to the right, rise to the left, and then breaking the system of injustice. Rise to the right, rise to the left, breaking through. One more. Left, breaking through. Little Black Lives Matter movement. Thank you for that invitation for dance. Yeah, this is my first time dancing and speaking in this way. So
yeah, I've watched some of your Instagram lives, which are super fun. I saw the one you had on the beach the other day. So I would love to see you dancing after every question. If there's something, if there's a topic that so inspires you, and I think we figured out how to like add people to you, so you're not just going to be up there by yourself. We'll have some other people attempting to follow along.
People are shy, but as long as you're doing it full out in your room, then
yeah. I think we all need a little like happy inspiration and movement right now, because so many of us have been home for so long, and reading the news is tough right now. So I think you are bringing such a positive, wonderful message through your dance and music. So so then you went from the UN, and then tell me, Brian, did you work on the TV series first, or I know you were also a judge on So You Think You Can Dance in Africa. I'm not sure the exact order, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that.
It's a really fun story. So I ended up in Nairobi. I was just a tourist in Nairobi, Kenya. And I was asked to be in a music video and help choreograph a music video with these local dancers who were incredible. And I was like, sure. So I go with them, and this song is blasting in the biggest slum in East Africa called Kibera. And all the kids are dancing on the tin rooftops to this song, just like jamming. And they're like, Vandana, great, thank you for helping us choreograph. Now you need to be in it. And I was like, what? I'm not gonna be in this video. I work at the UN. I can't like be, booty bouncing in music videos. And they're like, no, Vandana, like, no, you have to be in it. It's not even a question. So they convinced me, and I was dancing, and all the kids on the rooftop were dancing, and the song, it's the 4 top artists in Kenya that are singing. It's really cool. It's like kind of a Jamaican dance hall feel. And so I thought, no one would really see it. I was just like, whatever. And then the next month, the song is released, and people are calling me from all over and saying, Vandana, is that you in that music video? And then I got a call asking from the local TV network saying, we want you to be our female judge of Kenya's So You Think You Can Dance. And I thought it was a joke. I didn't believe it. I was so embarrassed that this video had been reached by so many people. But I ended up being a judge on that show for a year, and I got to watch the whole nation dance in front of me. And it was incredible. It was such an invitation to immerse in a different culture. And the two other judges were Kenyan men with dreadlocks, very accomplished choreographers who performed all over Europe and the US and Asia. But what also was, interesting about that moment of being a judge and seeing a whole country dance is this is the only way that dance storytelling is happening, is the competition. But actually the magic and power and revolutionary aspect of dance is not the competition, it's the culture. It's the meaning behind the movement. And it's that we have a dance for every day. Femi Kuti quotes this in Nigeria, we have a dance for every day in Africa. And there's a dance for every day in every culture and every SDG. There's a dance in Afro-Cuban dances. There's dances for the waters. I can show you now. So for Afro-Cuban traditions and Afro-Brazilian traditions, there's moves for the goddesses of the oceans and the rivers. And if we utilized this knowledge, we could all be moving for these rivers and oceans together. So let's try. So we reached on the right side, we scoop down. Left side, we scoop down 4 times. And then we twist in the center, making an offering to the oceans. Twist down. One more. Beautiful. Yeah, and so I felt that just seeing dance all over the world and dancing with different cultures from South Africa to Brazil to Japan, New York, I realized that true essence and storytelling of dance culture and how it can unify us and work on the most important social causes of the world wasn't happening. No one was investing in that storytelling. There's only dance competition shows, music videos. So I decided to create We Speak Dance, which is a Netflix series. It was ranked top 10 shows to binge by Forbes. I independently created this project, licensed it to Netflix. So it's very unique to own the IP to a TV series. But with the beauty of that is being able to own the creative and not turn it into such a commercial product, but also have the authenticity of the dance. So the way I describe it is it's like Pharrell Happy music videos meets Anthony Bourdain. And how do we take that power and the energy and the impeccable beauty of dancers' bodies and what they're moving for, mixed with the most powerful social political topics on the planet? And now my goal, after launching We Speak Dance, is to create the Mandelas of dance around the world. How do we get 1 billion people dancing, but also how do we inspire dancers to step into their leadership as superheroes for the planet? This is like, there's no dance celebrities that exist. So We Speak Dance is not only just a TV series, it's a platform for dancers around the world to really become ambassadors for our planet.
Very cool. We have a question from Lacey Kowalski, who wanted to know what went into the making of each Netflix show. How long did it take you to prepare the script, plan everything, who was involved, and then how long was the actual shoot and crew that was needed? So kind of more like a production type question, but we wanted to know, yeah.
Let's go there. So, so the Nigeria episode I filmed first, and I was there for a month. My friend believed in the project and supported that project, Karibi Fubara. He's incredible. The first person to really believe in this idea. And on average, we were in each country for 2 weeks, but Nigeria was 1 month. So I got to really immerse in the culture there and really become close to the dancers. In some places, we didn't know anyone. In Lebanon, we didn't know one person, and we arrived. And then the next night, we were crashing a wedding, an interfaith wedding. Muslim Christian wedding. And then the next day we were in a refugee camp dancing with the best hip hop dancer in the country. The next day we were dancing with an LGBTQ, like super proud man in his gorgeous golden sequin dress, learning belly dance moves and dance for LGBTQ rights. So it's incredible, you know, the power of showing up somewhere, and the question of where are the best dancers leads you on this journey to really meet these superstars. So in Nigeria, one of my favorite dance moves is, it's in the show, it's called Kill the Mosquito, and it's also used to, you know, fight malaria, or it's kind of a joke, but it actually is really cute. So you clap your hands, and then you booty bump back 3 times. 1, 2, 3. You jump back 3 times. Clap. 1, 2, 3. Clap. 1, 2, 3. This is the Kill the Mosquito move from Nigeria. And there's another move that's super.
Hold on, 1 second. I know we have a few people that do want to join. I want to invite them to turn their cameras on. So Lisa, Lacey, and Emily, if you want to join, flip your cameras on, but go on mute, because otherwise when you move, the camera will hop to you, and we'd love to get you dancing with Vandana. So give us 2 seconds and see if we can see everybody, and then, oh yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of people. Anyone else? Bill, can we get you to come on too? Maybe not. Hey, Bill on. Okay, Lacey, do you want to turn on your camera too? So maybe not. Okay, you know what? We've got a few people on. Let's just go with what we've got. So all right, Vandana, let's try this again.
Okay, backup dancers, let's do this. So the next move I learned in Nigeria is the skelio. So it's like a snake dance. You go 1, 2, 3, and then you cover your eye like a pirate. So you go 1, 2, 3, pop. And it's, so you let your chest pop to the side, and then you make this 1, 2, 3, clap. 3, now skelio. One more move. Let's travel to Bali. Bali was such a beautiful episode. Conserving the environment and the oceans. And there's a move, the warrior dance. In this case, we'll say for the environment. So we take both of our elbows up like this. And we shake our hands. We let the eyes go left, right. Left, right. Please warrior dance. In this case, we're dedicating it to the oceans. Beautiful, Bill. Yes. And then
this is harder than it looks.
let's actually ride the oceans now. 1, let them wave, and then open the hands, open. Wave, open. Wave. Beautiful, you guys. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that dance with me. From Nigeria to Indonesia.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you guys for joining. I think we'll definitely do some more, so feel free to stay on. We'll do some more dancing as well. I feel a little winded from that. I was like, good movement. That was fun. So great. So I guess we talked a little about the filming. Maybe, you know, I'd be just curious, you went to multiple countries. Was there kind of a highlight or a low light while you were filming the series?
Definitely. Well, it was really cool in Paris. We were trying to film this dance group, and we just decided there, we're like, no, they're not the right one. And I saw this guy walk by, and he had this really fierce walk. And I was just like, wow, I really feel there's something special about that person. I've never seen him dance before. And I said, excuse me, can we film you dancing for 3 minutes? He looks at me like, he's like, how do you even know I'm a dancer? I'm like, well, you're near the dance space. We filmed him, and he ends up being the star of the Paris episode. His name is Goku. And he shows us all this really cool dance called electro. Like, he shows us like this butterfly dance, and like, it's so cool. And then there's this move, we can all do it together too. It's like, you go all the way around, like a little matrix move, and you like let the arm go around. So this is inspired by like the underground scene in Paris, like glow sticking mixed with hip hop and shabby, like all these cool underground moves. Yes. And then the wrists, we can move this way and then we circle. So he does, yeah, so he ends up like not only being like one of the most powerful interviews on the series. The next day we go to a dance battle and we film this dance battle and he ends up getting second place out of all the dancers. And we interview him and he says, I was like, if you could dance anywhere, where would it be? And he's this beautiful black man and he says, on the Paris opera stage. I want to bring my culture to the highest stages. And this is really, something about dance and dance ambassadors becoming leaders for our world, that they want their bodies and their stories to speak on big stages. And that's what We Speak Dance is all about.
Super cool. So tell us a little bit about the movement. I know you're also working on an app related to it. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the movement and the technology you're using to help promote it.
Definitely. So I think Hollywood and the UN and the humanitarian space and the tech space, these are all three very powerful industries. But I don't feel like there's enough companies that are straddling all three. Taking the power of entertainment, taking the power of technology and data, and also bringing in the power of social change and the SDGs. And I could wait for somebody else to do this. It's a lot of work, but I've decided to embark on this journey on my own and now building an incredible team around the world during this pandemic, which has been really inspiring to see that even with these challenges, it's time for us to continue to build. Whatever we're passionate about, continue building. Whatever it is that gives you that fire. So now we're building an app called Boa Boa. And essentially, you get to learn any dance move around the world in 1 minute, any dance culture, and you get to learn the meaning behind that dance. And the more you dance on the app, the more impact you make across the SDGs. And we'll be building the dancers' capacity to be dance ambassadors, dance leaders of the world, and have different causes linked to their profile. So the more you dance and engage, and you can dance battle on the app, you can dance side by side, and then you end up dancing for different causes around the world. So imagine a woman in the Amazon showing you her dance for the rainforest. And then afterwards, after you learn the dance with her, you get to donate to her environmental cause and what her community is doing. And so you get to embody and feel the culture and join the culture and then contribute to it. And so we want, all of the dance moves to connect to the SDGs. It won't be marketed that way on the platform. We're just going to do it. And I really see that there's all this dance that's fun and silly, but what if we used all of our dance and music culture to connect, to build unity, inspiration, power, liberation, women's rights, and attention to the things that we need the most. So I think this gamification of a dance app that's immersive, that's fun, educational, but also you can dance battle. So it's a dance app created by dancers for the world to have an invitation to our culture the way that the culture really is. So if you dance across the whole world, you'll get a badge for dancing around the whole equator and becoming a global citizen. And so these are some of the concepts that we're building. We're really early stage. We're just building the MVP now, and would love to, share more. And if people want to stay in touch, please write to me. And this is like it's an app, it's a TV series, and it's a movement. So it's a living, breathing thing. And I think all the campaigns and inviting the world to dance right now for different causes is so important, because we need celebration. And this is what I've learned with my work with the UN and working in 100 countries and dancing on 100 borders. I've literally organized dance protests and refugee camps in Tijuana to Syria. And what I've learned is that within seconds of dance, we build the trust and inspiration and joy that would normally take years to build. doing it with the UN or with other organizations within seconds of dancing together. In South Africa, I've danced in a township, and after dancing for a few moments, everyone said, "Move here, be here, you're one of us, live here, you're family." In seconds, you know, and so I think, how do we create that in a massive global way? That sense of caring, empathy, mental health, movement, and global connectivity. And I don't see it. I don't see it enough. And I think we need more companies, more thought leaders to integrate technology, impact the SDGs in ways that are really entertaining, but also have direct action in that moment. And so I just don't see it. And that's why I'm urgently working to build this, and everyone's invited to the party.
Yeah, lots of questions. So I guess, first of all, you know, how can our community, the ACTAI community, help? Are you looking for financing, or what stage are you at, and how can we help?
Definitely. We're doing our first round right now. It's an Angels round. We're raising money to get us to launch, to put this big campaign together, build the 100 dance ambassadors, our dance army, and also to launch the technology. So we want to release the show. That we have a season 2 filmed in South Africa on Nelson Mandela's 100th celebration and dance across South Africa. We have one in Brazil on dance and samba and passinho and all the dances of the favelas, and the power of carnival. And we have one in Ghana looking at an e-waste site and how dancers have worked in the e-waste site picking through scrap metal to save enough money to build their dance school. And in Spain and in Morocco on hip hop and women's rights and dance. It's super cool, and ancient traditional dances in women's groups as well. So we have these 5 episodes for the show. We're working to get edited. The app that we want to launch, and the campaign that can start tomorrow. So these 3 pieces we're building together as the bigger movement: the entertainment, the technology, and the campaign. And we want to launch all 3, and any support, with the fundraising, with partnerships, with brands, and just people who also want to join us. Please email me, and we're building out this movement, and we're looking for, creative genius, and also, the financial support, but also, people who are really passionate about this and have ideas and want to share and be involved.
And question, where's the team that's building it? Obviously, in this COVID reality, they might be totally dispersed, but just wondering, where they are currently. Yeah.
In Mexico, my co-founders in Taiwan, another advisor is in Brazil, who's worked at Hyperloop. We have the head of, global digital marketing from Nike, the former executive there, building with our team. So we're all over. And now it's just kind of like, how do we ensure that we can build this in a way that is powerful and really is something that dancers want, but that also the world wants. And so it's going to be a really exciting time to test. And this is the time. I think this is my story, but I really hope that my story can inspire other entrepreneurs, creators, community organizers to not be afraid and to go out there and build their vision, or join someone else and support it.
Very cool. You talked about partnerships. Obviously, you've worked with the UN. Actually, ACTAI does have a tie into the UN as well, around the 2030 vision. Is there anything kind of specifically that you're looking for that we might be able to help, or that our community can help with in terms of partnerships?
Definitely, I'd love to discuss a partnership. Also, just like the work that you do around the oceans and the environment and so many other causes, I think is really beautiful. And I see 20% of the content on the app connecting to indigenous dances and cultures around the world. And a lot of those dances are connected to the environment. So I think with your expertise there, I think there could be some really beautiful collaborations with your events and other partnership ideas. Yeah, very excited to explore all of it.
Yeah, so I'm going to invite people to turn their cameras back on. You talked about the STG, about life underwater. Wondering if you have a good one about life on land as well, that dance inspired by that STG that we could follow along with you.
many dances like across Africa for farming and actually our soil and regenerative systems. You know, people have been moving for this for a very long time. And I think that's the way that we can activate people's interest and heart and make these topics cool. But that's really important. They're already very cool, but we need to make them a bigger invitation. So we could do a dance where, we're pulling from the seeds on the right, left, planting seeds, right, left, and then making 3 wishes. 1, 2, 3, and sending them to the earth. 1, 2, 3. Planting the seeds. 2, 3, 4, 3 wishes. Ta, ta, ta. For Mother Earth. One more time. Beautiful.
Gosh, that's so fun. This is super fun. Cool. So you know, when you look ahead, you know, 5 years from now or 10 years, whatever time frame you want, like, what are the metrics that you use to be like, okay, this was a movement that was successful and this app enabled that? Like, how do you think about that?
Totally. I'd love to have, you know, 1,000 dance ambassadors covering every country, and these dance ambassadors picking countries they want to move for or cities they want to move for. That could be, you know, somebody from the diaspora community, or it could be somebody who's just always wanted to travel, you know, to Utah or Madagascar or Moscow, and that they want to dance for those people. And I think having 1,000 dance ambassadors and 1 billion people dancing across the planet on this platform, based on our experiences and the technology, I think would really be the dream. And then also to be distributing the content of the We Speak Dance TV series across every region of the world. Right now, we're in 15 different territories and on Netflix worldwide. That's just the beginning. We really want to build the content and storytelling to open the hearts, and the apps to really immerse and have people take action. And of course, once we're connecting more in person, we would love to do dance, more live experiences, and so many ways to collaborate different brands that way. But I think, yeah, this idea of 1 billion people dancing for the SDGs and different causes around the world, and people becoming ambassadors for other countries is kind of the core of the vision. And also people just falling in love with dance. That 1 billion people not just being dancers, but people who've never moved before. And many people who watch my Instagram live classes have said, like, oh my gosh, my mom and I did your class. Or somebody who like has 1 leg in Turkey said, after watching your show, I dance in public for the first time. And, you know, so these are the kinds of stories and the ripple effects that we want to have, and we've just begun. So amplifying the power of dance culture, and having a place where also dancers can be paid. I think the long-term vision in 5 years, I think there's really exciting opportunities to tokenize points, to have the content creators make money. There's a huge music industry, have you guys heard of it? Where musicians make money from royalties. There's no such thing for dance moves, and TikTok is the #2 dance app after Zoom in the world, and has had 1 billion downloads because of dance. Dance has driven the success of TikTok. And also there's a dance competition show in every country in the world. So the audience who cares about dance in a fun, interactive way, and dance in terms of just dance culture and learning more about who's the best, exists in every country and is a massive audience. I think now is an opportunity to invite that audience to have a different experience and to immerse in dance in a really fun, humanizing way, and to build empathy, mental health, physical health. So yeah, in 5 years, it's like getting this 1 billion people shaking. My co-founder's like 3 billion. He's like, you're so conservative. So we have some visionary people behind this, and we're gonna keep dancing.
I love that. And kind of, you touched on kind of mental health, obviously in these times of people at home and isolated. Is there a dance that kind of, you know, is something that makes people happy and joyous?
Such a good question. So part of the app is that we want every day there to be a recommendation based on your mood and your mental health, a move that can recommend you whatever you need in terms of your joy, your happiness index, or your melancholy index, you know. So we actually want that mental health piece to be curated in the experience. What I always do, this isn't necessarily...
Everyone turn your cameras back on so we can do this together with her, if you can.
Thank you. So let's shake the hands. And then the hips, left, right, left, right. Shake the hands. And then the hips, left, right, left, right. Shake the hands, left, right. So now let's do some body rolls. So let's body roll down and then pull apart, clap, clap. Body roll, pull apart, clap. Oh, I changed it, sorry. Body roll, pull apart, clap, clap. Body roll, pull apart, clap, clap. And then shake. Really shake off any stress, any fear, and then let it out in your hips. Twist. Shake, twist. Then let's do the body roll again. A little diva energy. And then let's just kind of brush that energy off the shoulder. Any worries, any stress, let's just brush it off the left shoulder, right shoulder, and then pop both shoulders back. Pop. This is really good for building confidence. Pop. And one of my favorite ones that I do for my women's rights work is we make a crown with our hands. We cross our fingers and we rise the crown up, and then we wear it, and then we shake. So let's rise the crown up, place the crown, and then shake. And that's just feeling your full power, your full energy, your full potential. Let's do that one more time. Rise the crown up. Place it on your head, shake. You guys are amazing. Yes.
I think you definitely have at least your beta testers here if you need them. Plenty of people will volunteer to try out your app when it's ready to go. So and along those lines, actually, you know, typically ACTAI does kind of gatherings around the world on water, so be it kiteboarding or on snow or snow kiting. Usually it has to do with wind, although, you know, we've done other gatherings. I know you said you did the episodes for episode 2 in South Africa, right? Are those all in South Africa? That's my first question, then I have a follow on, but start with that.
Season 2 is, we filmed it in 5 new countries. So season 1, is on Netflix. It's Nigeria, Lebanon, France, Indonesia, Vietnam. And then season 2 is Brazil, South Africa, Spain, Ghana, Morocco. And it's the most inspiring stories. Like, we met the most incredible people. In South Africa, I was there for Nelson Mandela's 100th celebration, and I got to dance with Mandela's grandson in his house, the last house that he lived in. And he showed me some of the dances for protest, the Mandela dance that Mandela would use on the front lines to fight apartheid, but also after celebrations and important speeches to get everyone moving together. There's a lot of research on, you know, in films about sports and the importance of sports and unity in different historic moments, but dance is kind of not told in the way that dance has been a way to destroy, rebuild, reunite nations and people. So actually,
I'm going to pause you there, and I know there is a Mandela dance, right, that you could do with us, and everyone can flip their cameras on. We can do that again.
And he's really cute with it. He just kind of leans back, and this is what you see videos of him doing, this really cute Mandela dance, and it just really inspires people. There's another South African dance. It's a little bit more difficult, but it's called Vo Show. If you have knee problems, don't do this one. But you kick your foot and then you drop down. And it's supposed to be a surprise. So they do this in like all the townships, all over Johannesburg, wherever I was going and teaching dance. You kick the right foot and then you drop like a surprise. bo, show, bo, show, bo, show. And it's like this surprise attack. You're like, huh? And then you, and the kids do it over and over again. And I was dancing with all these kids. And the next day, I did this for hours, this dance with them. And I couldn't walk the next day. My legs were so sore. There's one more move that I learned in South Africa. So you stir the right hand in. So you stir circles in, counterclockwise. And then the right knee does the same thing. Yeah, I see that as like, it's very powerful, like, and you kind of groove with it, you let your body groove with it, and you lean back with it. Yeah, a lot of these movements are kind of stories of change and strength, and I'll share one more that when I was filming in Ghana, this girl showed me. It was so funny. So working at the UN on ending violence against women and sexual harassment, and you know, I've never thought of a dance move for that, but there's actually one that exists in Ghana where the girl, when you're at a party and you know, a guy's trying to talk to you and you don't want to talk to him, she goes, you crinkle up your face and then you point forward 3 times and you bounce. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No, no. 1, 2, 3. No, no. 1, 2, 3. It's like, honey, you're cute, but not today. They actually have a dance move for social distancing and sexual harassment.
I love it. I love it. And have you thought about filming the next season yet? And the reason why I'm asking is, I mean, it'd be super fun if ACTAI could join you if there was a place and once we start traveling again. So I'm curious if you know where you'll be shooting next.
It's so funny you asked that because I own the IP to the show still as of now. There's a lot of freedom in terms of where we can film. Season 1, I literally went to Vietnam and Lebanon. I'd never been to those places. I chose those countries because many friends around the world said they were incredible countries. That was it. I didn't know anyone. We showed up and we started filming, and that kind of adventurous spirit of really showing up and creating real stories based on the interaction and the adventures. You feel the energy. When something's very scripted, that's not a real journey. That's a TV show. So what the movement aspect of this, there's this really fun play. I think also on the app, we could have some of the people who are the most engaged on the app be hosts in different countries in the world. There could be some really cool integration there. But that being said, yeah, we can kind of go to any country, any city in the world, and we are looking to collaborate with incredible experiences and people, and we can align filming with experiences in other countries. So there's so much potential.
If you need a bunch of kiteboarder backup dancers, we might be able to trial. be there for you, so.
I feel like there could be such a cool kiteboarding dance that could be invented for one of the episodes in a place that would make sense.
Yeah, well, we should definitely talk more offline, because I know, you know, this has been super fun for everyone that's been on the webinar, and I've been getting a lot of great feedback. So I know, you know, when we can leave our homes and get on planes with more ease, it would be amazing to get to either just watch you film and or celebrate, you know, one of the cultures that you're highlighting and their dance, or as you said, like if you need some maybe okay backup dancers, we could join along with you. So
you're going to end up being a judge on, so you think you can dance in a small country somewhere soon.
Awesome. Just a couple other questions from some folks have come in. One was, you know, your life has been very much centered around creative endeavors. So, you know, I guess, what is your creative process like, and, you know, where do you tend to draw inspiration from most?
Beautiful. Yeah, I think that's a great question. I really get inspired by the serendipity of connections in cities, and, you know, the smell of a city when you walk at night, and the interactions with strangers, and the intimacy that you built with someone, just looking into someone's eyes and them really caring, or sharing a funny story and making someone laugh in that interaction. And I think that kind of serendipitous joy and connection that I've found in all the countries I've traveled in, like, gives me so much inspiration to share that with other people. I want other people to feel safe and empowered and inspired by other cultures and other people. And those are those moments where I feel my most aliveness. And that inspires me to dance, that inspires me to create, that inspires me to really believe in humanity. I think, you know, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of violence, there's so much conflict and many challenges we have. But those moments where strangers are connecting and showing each other unconditional love and support and laughing together and really showing up for each other. And we can see this right now in this moment, that people are putting aside so many things and really coming together for a major cause for equality and racial justice. And I think, you know, those things really inspire me. And it's sometimes in the most simple act. And then sometimes it's in the spontaneous dance party that's created in a marketplace, in the biggest market in the world, in Turkey, in Istanbul, you know, and that disruption of creating experiences that are filled with so much joy and celebration that they're explosive, and that energy then permeates, and everyone that's around it wants to be involved and sometimes organically jumps in. Those moments give me so much joy. Like the Slumdog Millionaire credits, where everyone's just in the marketplace. You know, Bollywood knows how to do this. Bollywood is We Speak Dance all day. And just creating that energy where everyone's kind of willing to participate, and just that knee-jerk reaction of leaving your thoughts and your sense of control and identity behind, and fully just stepping into this beautiful, magical moment is what that just inspires me so much as an artist and creator.
Very cool. And this question's from Lisa Andrews. You know, people have been kind of doing the elbow bump when they greet people during these Corona times. Do you have a new move instead of shaking hands, you know, when we meet people, that you could show us? And maybe it's a dance move. Yeah,
here in Mexico, it's everyone here is kind of in quarantine together, so it's like the double kiss, which is not what you should do. People have been very isolated here in their communities, but I think a really cool move for coronavirus could just kind of be like, well, no one would do this, but we could do like a hug sideways, this way and then this way. And then you could do like
feel free to get your cameras, guys, if you want. We could do this all together.
Let's go right side, left side, then elbow touch. Oh, that's too close to the face. Let's do an elbow touch. This is like spontaneous coronavirus dance move. I'm hugging you. And then giving you a little love. Yeah, and then I think also just giving ourselves a hug, because this is a really stressful time. So let's end with a hug for ourselves. So one hug to the right, two kisses, and then one hug for ourselves. Beautiful. You guys can innovate your Corona dance move. That was just a suggestion.
No, I love it. That's great. That is great. And I guess, you know, any just last thoughts, you know, in closing, like, is there anything from a community standpoint? I mean, obviously helping to promote your app, connecting with you if we have ideas for partnerships or good people to join your company. But is there any kind of closing message? And then maybe we could do one more dance, but like a closing message you'd like to give to our community?
Definitely. I think the closing message is, just keep creating, keep building, and let the fire rise to your passion and your purpose in the world. And don't let any of the external circumstances let that fire go away. That's kind of just like my overall message. And I would love to invite everyone to be involved in the We Speak Dance Boa Boa movement, and to support in any way you can. We are fundraising now, but I think that's just one piece. We really want to build a movement. So please, everyone, get in touch with me, and to stay in touch on the events and the next season and what we're building next.
Maybe everyone could flip on their cameras and we'll just do like either a goodbye dance or maybe your favorite dance, or if there's a dance that you think is going to be very popular on the app, whatever your choice, dance.
Cool. Let's do like a dance to honor the 4 directions. So like a lot of indigenous cultures do, a dance for all the 4 directions. We'll just do one this way. So hit the right shoulder, left shoulder, right hip, left hip, and then circle. Right, left, circle. Right, left, circle, and then let's put the hands up, down, Not letting that fire go during this time. Just keep moving, keep dancing, keep creating joy. They're saying actually dance is the best replacement for human touch for those people who have been in isolation. So there's just so much beauty and healing power in moving together or even moving alone in your living room. You guys rock this. You're all hired for the next music video. Thank you so much for all of your beautiful movement.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And seems like all major cultural movements involve dance, and you're definitely onto something kind of through your travels and bringing all these different cultures together and then combine it with technology so that all of us who are either sitting at home or can go along with you, either watching you on TV or through your app. So I'm really excited to see it live and hopefully have our community help support you however we can. So keep us posted on that.
You guys are amazing, so inspired by this community and all that you do. And it's about bringing all of these leaders together and coming up with new creative ideas and building together. So thank you so much for having me. Big hugs from Mexico.
Thank you, Vandana. And we'll have this recording up on the ACTAI Global website soon. It'll also be, I guess the Facebook Live recording will be up on Facebook. Just to let everyone know, our next Fireside Chat is next Wednesday, a week from today, with Dante Disparte. He's the Vice Chairman and Head of Policy and Communications for the Libra Association. For those of you not in the blockchain world, the Libra Association is a newly formed organization that has brought together social impact organizations and a diverse group of leading businesses from around the world to create a low friction, high trust payment system that will empower billions of people. He comes to the Libra Association after 2 decades of experience as an entrepreneur, business leader, and global risk expert. He was recently the founder and head of the Risk Cooperative, a strategic risk advisory and insurance brokerage based in Washington, D.C. He's lived and worked in Europe, the U.S., and the Caribbean. So he's conducted business all over the world. And I think, what's also interesting, so bring your questions around this, is he also serves as an appointee on the Federal Emergency Management Agency, so FEMA's National Advisory Council, which is the United States Federal Emergency Response Agency. So he has been a very busy person between both the blockchain world and obviously everything that's happening today with the coronavirus. So please come with any questions related to blockchain, our US response to federal emergencies, and anything around kind of global digital transformation and risk. And I'm sure he'll have some great answers for you. So you can register for upcoming webinars on the ACTAI website, which is again www.ACTAI, ACTAI, artists, conservationists, technologists, athletes, innovators, .global. And until our next Fireside Chat, we hope that you are staying healthy and that you're able to stay inspired. And thanks for joining us.